Hi, everybody. Just a little bit before 5 o'clock. I'm not sure what the high temperature is going to be yet today. I want to get this done because I'm in charge of meatloaf night at the Hill household tonight. It does appear that the majority of the Willamette Valley and up into Vancouver, Kelso, Longview will end up somewhere between 75 and 79 degrees. I think the only question is, does somebody hit 80, which could happen at 4 o'clock. It was 77 degrees, I think it was. Yeah, 77 in Portland. And remember, yesterday the high was 78. We should at least be 78, maybe a little bit warmer. So anyway, warming up out there, but still pretty tolerable. I hope you will agree. Yeah, I wanted to start off with showing you this camera from my live camera network. This is Gresham Subaru in Gresham off of Powell. Right here down low, you can see some building cumulus clouds. If you've been outdoors, you've looked off to the east toward the Cascades, you've seen these. As of 5 minutes ago, no lightning detected. Was not expecting any lightning. But with that said, some of these spotty showers have been producing some heavy downpours. I do not believe there's any rain chance at all here in the valley up through Cowlitz County. And once the sun goes down, even the activity over the mountains, which we did expect today, will quickly fade away. Hey, the other reason I wanted to show you this camera was it's on the east side. And with talk this weekend of east winds, which will lightly start to pick up tomorrow and then become more noticeably breezy at times Saturday and Sunday, this is not a strong east wind event. In fact, even if you live in East Clark County, East Multnomah County, I don't know if you ever have winds, I'm talking about peak gust, ever getting above 20, 25 miles per hour. Much of the time, it might just be like it's a noticeable 15-mile-per-hour wind, okay? So nothing extreme, and I don't think it really ever gets to what you folks in East County would even classify as windy. Now, the east wind will lower humidity, which, while that's true that increases fire danger, it also makes it more tolerable for we humans to be outdoors because the air temperature in the 90s will actually probably feel a degree or two cooler than what the actual Fahrenheit number is. At this point, there is no reason to believe there's any big fire danger this weekend. The Weather Service may end up putting maybe the first red flag warnings of the year up just due to the fact the wind direction is east and the temperature is going to be in the 90s, but we'll see. But certainly this is not a oh my goodness, we're overly concerned situation, okay? So I wanted to throw that out there. All right, let's get you going with the excessive heat watch. This will likely be upgraded tomorrow to a warning. It's basically watch, warning, it's a timing thing, okay? You know, all week we've been telling you, hey, this weekend will be hot with temperatures in the 90s. This shows you the National Weather Service agrees. That's why they put out an excessive heat watch that will likely be upgraded tomorrow to a warning. It simply means it's going to be in the 90s inland. It's going to be well above normal at the coast. Notice the watch does include the dark brick red colors from the beach all the way into the Cascade foothills. Now, what might happen is the Weather Service might choose to put a heat advisory for the coast and leave the rest of us in an excessive heat warning tomorrow. We'll see how they play it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's all just kind of rhetoric. Bottom line is 80s at the temperature, 90s inland, including out into Hood River and the Gorge, and including, you know, from our area up in Cowlitz County, Castle Rock, all the way down through Eugene, actually. So that is in play. You may be seeing that pop up on your phone. I haven't really made any significant changes to any of the forecast highs. Tomorrow, 86. The record tomorrow is 87, by the way. Saturday, sticking of 92. If that's correct, it would become the very first 90-degree temperature of the year. So far at PDX, Salem has done it. Portland has not. We tied the record of 92. Mother's Day certainly still looks to be the hottest of the bunch, however these numbers play out. Forecasting 95, the record's 91. And then on Monday, growing interest, let's say, and the possibility of some cloudiness leading to showers and thunderstorms. So I've lowered Monday's high to 90. The record's 93. Basically, how warm we get 90 is going to depend on how soon in the afternoon we start getting cloudiness, how soon in the afternoon we could have some showers or a thunderstorm, because when that happens, that will definitely kind of stifle the temperature from rising. Now, what's interesting about all of this is that only once in history out of PDX, those records go back, for spring, those records go back to 1940. Only once have we ever had 3 consecutive 90-degree days in the month of May. So we could do it, right? 92, 95, 90. We could do it. If we do it, that will tie that all-time record. And also, we've never had more than 3 total 90-degree days in the month of May at PDX. That record goes to 1987. Now, don't freak out on me, but unfortunately, 1987 went on to produce 2 or 3 100-degree days, went on to produce 27 90-degree or better temperatures total during the summer season. Get this, in 1987, they had 3 90-degree days in May. There was also a 90-degree day in October. So it was a long season of warm to hot weather with some hot spikes. And in 1987, that was an off-the-number chart. In fact, that record stood for quite some time. I believe that record stood until we broke it. When was that? Back in, oh boy, I'm not going to remember. But there was that year that we broke it, and we had like 27 or 28 days. Now the record, of course, is 31. So back a few years ago. So anyway, it does put you on edge a little bit to thinking, oh boy, is this a precursor to a really hot year coming up? The all-time record for the month of May, all reporting sites, by the way. I hope you find this interesting. I do. At the downtown site, that record back in 1983. In 1983, downtown Portland had 4 days in May that hit 90 degrees or better. And that is the record that stands all the way back since that log started in 1874. So we're not in this territory very often. As you know, it's not uncommon for May not to have any 90-degree temperatures. And if it does, it's typically, hey, we did it once, and maybe we did it twice, but you typically don't see them racked up, and you typically certainly don't see 3 or 4. So we'll see. All right, what about other temperatures? Here we go for the weekend. Remember, it's an east wind. That's going to pump up the coast as warm as 81 to maybe some of the hot spots, 88. Seaside's usually a hot spot with east winds. And the warmer numbers will be Sunday. Valley highs over the weekend, anywhere from 90 to maybe on Sunday there's a 96 somewhere. Wow. Gorge highs not quite as bad, 88 to 93, that warmest number in the Dalles. That's Sunday. Government camp, you're going up into the high country to cool off. 75 to 80 degrees. Cooler, still pretty warm in that intense sun that you get, the increase what we call solar insolation when you get up in the elevation. And then not as toasty over in Bend. If you're thinking about, hey, I'll go over to Sun River. 82 to 85. That's actually what their low humidity should be a pretty comfortable day. So that's kind of the forecast zone that we're looking at. Whoop, sorry. Let me go back. All right, let's talk about the setup, which we've talked about before. Big low is sitting out here. That's going to hold off. Okay, so I just wanted to mark it because it shows up on the upper level contouring. What we are doing, here we are right here. See how there's the 570 contour starting to kind of arc, or what we call ridge over. So this line, this arrow means there's a building ridge. So tomorrow into Saturday, we're going to see this ridge just build. The storm systems hold off. Warmer air starts to move into our areas. That's a setup that we're looking at. And again, the surface wind will be from the east, not overly windy. The more important thing here is the surface wind direction, if you will. So here's tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first day we're like, whoa, it's getting toasty. 86, 87 degrees. Again, the record tomorrow is 87. Could get there. Notice the low. This is interesting. Notice the low tomorrow showing up over Nebraska and Kansas. Not a very strong system, just kind of sitting there. And then you see the ridging I just showed you is what, a 570 contour over us right now. Here is what, 570, 73, 76, 79, 82. That's a rapid development of this ridging setting up tomorrow, and that's going to be day one of warming up. So that's tomorrow. Now look what happens Sunday. The low over Nebraska and Kansas actually comes back to the west. You hardly ever see that. Here it is floating back over California and Oregon, and the ridging that develops tomorrow continues to strengthen into a 588 pressure high. That's strong. I mean, we can't get them, 592, 94 or so, but that's pretty strong. That's up in Canada. And here's what's goofy, crazy in that you don't see this very often. This high, see the ridge here is developing through California, shoots all the way up to our north. Here it is. It kind of cuts itself off, and as it cuts itself off, the flow pattern to the south of it, underneath it, if you will, is so weak that this low is free to migrate back to the west. You just don't see that very often. Now, why do we care? Well, this low that comes in Sunday, by the time we get to Monday, it's going to play a role in giving us some moisture up in our area, not much, but it will increase the instability. And you have to think Monday there's the chance that we get a shower or a thunderstorm, which I talked about a little bit earlier in the show. So that's the rain chance showing up on Sunday. Now, it still looks like once we get into next week, certainly Tuesday, if not Monday, temperatures will come back down to the 80s. But I've been saying next week still looks warm, right? So here we are. This is Saturday. This is Saturday. This would be what? Did I write it here? Yeah, May 20th. High pressure ridging building back over. You know what? This is a strong enough ridge that actually Friday of next week into Saturday the 20th, we could be looking at 90-degree temperatures all over again. If we do that, then guess what? Rack them up. This will become the new record for the number of 90-degree days all time in the month of May. So that is crazy. And that brings me to this map. If you look at the updated Outlook maps from the National Weather Service, this one specifically is for the dates of May 20th through June 2nd. Above normal temperatures, not much confidence, and this does give us below normal rainfall, but not huge confidence. Basically, if you look at the outlooks, that precursor to this one, you come up with the conclusion that the Weather Service is predicting overall above normal temperatures for the next 3 weeks, which will take us into the first few days of June. Remember how May, the big news for May weeks ago was May would finally be the month that would break that crazy cold pattern that we had been in March and April. Well, that has come true. That has come true maybe more so than we wanted it to, right? All right, I've had you for over 10 minutes. Let me get you to the 7th. I hope you find this interesting. I love telling you these stories. Sunny tomorrow, 86, maybe 87. That's the record. 92 Saturday, 95 Sunday, east wind, east wind. Thunderstorm chance on Monday. It's not a slam dunk that we get a thunderstorm. The modeling is putting out kind of, some cloudiness, and we're thinking, well, certainly a possibility. And then cooler Wednesday and Thursday. And by the way, I meant to put this on my graphic. I did. There could certainly be, let me get my sheet. Yeah, there could be some morning cloudiness on Wednesday. So if there is, maybe Wednesday doesn't get up to 85. But then after that, I go Thursday 88, and then that Friday, Saturday is when we could be back up into the 90s. Okay, that is your update. Thanks for using my YouTube channel. Hope you've told some people about it. I hope you've hit subscribe. Thank you for that. My weather site's portlandweather.com. My custom 7 days always on there for you, and I'll talk to you soon.